What's up and welcome to the Little Swaz Guys podcast. I am your host Eslam, aka Raw God of the Sun, accompanied by Dan Papa Sun Killer and Dan Emperor Disco. How's it going, fellas?
Oh yeah, happy to be
Disco,
here. We got the
Disco
trio
love the
back.
shirt.
Yeah, I know it's
I got
we
swindled
on and
for this
off.
shirt. I
You
was
got
on a
swindled.
beach in San Diego, and these black dudes were just like, "Oh yeah," da, 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 da. They gave me their album, they gave me this
Oh
shirt,
God,
and I was like, "Oh god, there's so much stuff." And they're like, $20. I was like, "Okay," and then they took half of the stuff back, and I was like, "What the fuck just happened?" But I
damn.
got this shirt.
I mean, is it a nice quality shirt at least?
It is. It's pretty comfortable. It's just a nice little. I don't even know. It's just a smiley face thing.
It's like a
Yeah.
yin yang smiley face.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
Yep.
That's why I liked
Right,
it.
we are here to discuss season 2 of How I Met Your Father. Dun dun dun. Did she
There it
meet
is.
him? Did she not meet him?
The saga continues.
Who the fuck knows? The mystery continues. She's a crazy old woman. Poor kids always being trapped and being told these multi-year stories, and they can't leave the
I mean,
couch or poop or
well, at least this guy, he's the son. He's not trapped in a room. Like
yeah,
he can like walk around and do stuff. Like the other kids on How I Met Your Mother, they were trapped there for like 8 years,
yeah,
just on that
yeah.
couch.
Sitting on that
I
couch.
remember they
Thank
made
the
like
Lord.
this parody video where they're like, "We had to poop in like these
Yeah,
fucking cans." That was funny. Um, but yes, How I Met Your Father season 2. Now, I'm gonna start it off with non-spoiler. I enjoyed the season. It was okay, and the only reason why I enjoyed it is because I stopped watching until it was over, and then I binged it.
mm.
When I was watching it episodically every week, it did not grab my attention. I always forgot what was happening. Like it was just like I don't know. It's not that type of show where I'm gonna wait for it every week or and watch it. For me, this is the type of show that you should just release the whole season at once. In my opinion, for me, just release the whole season at once. Let me binge it. It's a fun watch, definitely. Because when I watched, I had stopped at episode 12, so I went from I watched those last eight episodes like straight through. Um, and I don't know, it was a lot more fun when that happens than watching it like 20 minutes and then waiting another week and then watching the other next 20 minutes, and it's just like I don't know. That's what it is for me. But when I watched those last eight episodes, in a row, I enjoyed it more than enjoyed the first 12 episode when I was watching them like episodically. Um, but that's on me. What do you guys think?
I have to agree with your sentiment as well. I don't know why going into this season I was kind of dreading it. I don't for no real reason at all. I was just like I don't really I didn't wasn't being called to the show for some reason.
Yeah,
Um, but like you said, I've probably watched the whole season two from 1 to 20 in the past 2 days, and surprisingly wasn't that bad. It didn't blow
there's
me away.
definitely
I'm not saying like it's the best show ever, but it's definitely you definitely get some laughs and there's some callbacks from the
yeah.
original show. I thought that was pretty cool. Overall, you will get some laughs, but
There's definitely a lot of
it
nice
just feels like
moments.
something is missing. I don't know. I don't know. But it's definitely a good background show as well. I could say
Yeah,
like you're just listening to it, you can just hear the jokes and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, funny. Um, but so yeah, I think it was pretty good. But like I've said, it's not like a knockout the park or something. It's like a nice infield where you get to run around the bases. You know, it wasn't a home run, but if you're into the series, this universe as well, definitely check it out because it is funny. There are some parts that had me like tuning back in and just laughing, just like, oh shoot, they're funny. Just the whole chemistry between them and just the goofiness, really. Um, I will say that I don't know why, but I just don't feel connected to these characters. Like season two is done, and I don't, any one of them could leave, and I'd be like, okay. If it was a How I Met Your Mother, I feel like they all were pivotal. Like you had the Marshall and Lily, but also while I'm watching it, I'm trying not to compare back because How I Met Your Mother had like 7 or 8, or however many seasons to really build that connection. So
Hmm.
I'm trying to maintain that like disconnect from the first from How I Met Your Mother because it's a whole new show, a new entity. But I find myself like often kind of just looking back, like I don't know, these people just aren't living up to that original cast. Uh,
I think I'll get more into this later, but I don't know. There was a lot of like really nice moments that kind of sparked like the enjoyment that I had from like its predecessor. But at the same time, it's trying to do its own thing, which I understand. But yeah, I'll get more into that in a little bit. But Dan, tell us what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just when it comes to shows, it's just like it's like you guys have an opinion. I'm always the opposite. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
always. So it's like, yeah, this is one where I watched it week to week. I don't do background shows, so it's like if I'm watching a show, I'm watching a show. So it's like I was focused on that. I'm not really a binge guy, so it's just like it's rare for me to sit
Hmm.
down and binge a show. I actually like the all right, tune in next week and see what's happening. And I wasn't really sitting there and waiting for it. Like, oh, that's right. It really, I couldn't tell you what day it releases. I don't fucking know.
Hmm.
It's just when I get a chance, I watch it. I was just like, it's like a nice little treat. It's like, oh, I haven't watched it this week. Let me go ahead and watch it. So I'll watch it any day I'm available. I watch an episode, and I saw the whole season like that, with the
Nice. Okay.
exception of maybe 1 week. But no, I enjoy it. I do like the characters. Obviously, like Disco said, not as much as the original series because they have to earn that. You know what I'm saying? They have to earn that a couple seasons in. They're not there, but I do like them. Uh, I don't really have an issue separating the two. I said this last time when we talked about season one. I've seen a shit ton of sitcoms, and it's just like I can watch the Jeffersons, and I know the Jeffersons is separate from All in the Family, but it's actually a spinoff. You know, I could watch a different world and not think about the Cosby Show. Like I'm used to watching sitcoms that spin off of the sitcoms, and that's over there. Just leave it alone. So with this one, I could like turn off How I Met Your Mother whenever there's a cool reference, like oh look, there's Sandy Weathers, like stuff like that. But for the most part, it's just it's his own entity. I do like it. I do enjoy it. I do see a couple moments where whenever I think of How I Met Your Mother, like the big pivotal moments that progress the story, I do like watching it this time. Because when I was watching How I Met Your Mother, I wasn't watching it as it was happening, except for like the last 2 seasons.
Same.
This one, yeah, I'm watching it as it's happening. So
Yeah.
it's just like, oh, this is a big moment, and I can experience this is going to be something where if the show does succeed, if it does go multiple seasons, and I think back and I rewatch like I do with sitcoms, oh, this is the moment where this happens, and I know this leads to this. So I like seeing moments like that. And there's a few that happen here, like, okay, this is a pivotal moment that I can't forget because I know this is going to come back and it's going to mean something. So I like it for that reason. But overall, I enjoyed it. I do like the series.
So it's good that you brought up that point, Dan, because I think me and you had the same experience with How I Met Your Mother. Um, I started watching that in college when it had already been running for like 3 or 4 seasons. So I binged those seasons on Netflix.
Hmm.
So I got like so I didn't have to wait week to week to get really engaged with these characters. I got all that engagement right away, back to back to back, and I was able to like really within a week or two watch everything and then just like get really engrossed in all these characters, while here it's kind of like happening year to year. And maybe if I had watched How I Met Your Mother the same way, I would probably be having the same feeling, because I do enjoy the sitcoms when it's binged. I don't know why, but for me, sitcoms, I
That's
need
the
to
majority
binge
of
them
people, I think. Yeah.
because there's not so much happening. Like, there's not like a lot of things happening where I kind of need to sit with it. It's just kind of like just random funny shit happening. Oh, cool, laugh, move forward. Next funny thing, blah blah blah. Here's a piece of story. Here's an important moment. Let's move on. Funny, 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 whatever. But with like other shows, I kind of like to watch them and then like sit with that episode and like think about it and then like, oh, this was, I like this, I like that. You know what I mean? Kind of analyze it in my head. But I think that's the difference between like so if I wait for like another 2 years and not watch How I Met Your Mother, How I Met Your Father, and then like binge the series from the beginning again to the end, I'll probably fall in love with all the characters just like I did with How I Met Your Mother.
Mhm.
Um, it's just the way consuming that content for me, I think that's how I would be able to get that same feeling as How I Met Your Mother. Yeah.
No, no, yeah. Like I said, I feel like that's something. I feel like a lot of people do binging. I mean, I am curious though. So we're talking about sitcoms. Just for you, for both of you guys, I'm curious to hear your perspective on this. Game of Thrones. You're
Not
gonna
a
watch
sitcom.
it. I know
Okay.
that.
I'm just
Yeah,
making
that's
sure. I thought
no
you were
shit. It's
going
not a
there.
sitcom.
I thought you were going there. I was like, what the
So
fuck is he doing?
Game of Thrones. If
Yeah.
you guys were going to watch Game of Thrones for the first time, you've never seen it before, it doesn't exist, and you have the opportunity to binge the entire series, how long would it take you guys to do that?
See, so with Game of Thrones, I actually did binge some of it, but then it got a little too much. And then I had to like watch an episode or two a day and then give myself some break. Because I didn't watch Game of Thrones until like season 5 or
Yeah.
season 6. Um,
So like, what are you thinking? Like time period? Would it take you what, like a
I
month?
feel, I feel like
yeah, I
it's
think it did
different
take
though.
me a month to watch all those
It's,
seasons.
How I Met Your
Um,
Father is like a 20-minute show, so it's like
Well, I
it's
know that's why I'm curious for like
Game
a
of Thrones
completely
is like
different show. I'm just curious.
an hour long.
like I think I binged the first season in like a day or two. And then I was like, all right, there's so much happening. I was like, I kind of need a break.
Hmm.
And then moving forward, I took my time with the other 4 seasons. Um, and then until I caught up. So yeah, I think it did take me like a month to watch all of them.
What about you,
Like to watch
Disco?
the 5 seasons.
I'm
If
gonna
you're gonna
say
give it
like
a
a
month,
month too, because
okay.
I can't really for the long shows like that. I can't really binge. I get I don't know, restless. I can't. My attention span after an hour is like okay, I'm like doing everything else but
Yeah.
watching TV. So I have to kind of like that's when I'll flip in like a 20-minute show like How I Met Your Father,
Yeah,
and
like a
then
palate
and then
cleanser. I
I'll go
got you.
back to like the longer episode, or
Okay.
I could probably do 2 episodes of a long show back to back, especially if it's a good show.
Hmm.
um, but
That's interesting. Well, how long ago? Because House of the Dragon.
Hmm.
When did that was how many months ago that the season 1 came out?
is that like the end of
That was
last
like
year
last
almost,
year,
or is that
right? Yeah.
beginning?
Somewhere around there, like
Yeah.
towards the end of
It
last
was
year or
the
the
beginning
beginning.
of last year because the end of last year was Last of Us.
Okay, so all right, so just so you have an idea for how I watch shows, and this is me not sitcom. This is me
Hmm.
Game of Thrones. I started watching Game of Thrones because I was like, oh, I really like House of the Dragon. Let me watch Game of Thrones. So I started it during that time when
Hmm.
House of the Dragon came out. Today, I just made it to season 6.
Okay, that's
So
not
it's like
it's
that,
not
and that's
crazy.
but that's
Like
what I'm saying. That for me, that's binging.
okay.
You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
okay,
Like you
okay,
guys are
okay.
talking about, you could do it in a month. Here I am, almost. I'm. This has been
Sure,
six
but I
months.
can do it in a month. When Game of Thrones was out, I was still in school, so like I had just finished school, still looking for a job, and I was able to binge it in a month.
Okay.
Right? I had the time to
I honestly,
watch
I
this
think
shit.
even if you give me the time, I think I'm still sitting at
Okay,
this period.
sure,
Yeah.
that's how you watch shows.
Yeah.
Now, I had to drop shit because I just don't have the time and I don't care enough. And
Yeah.
I'm also bored of everything. I think we talked about this before.
Hmm.
Just like I'm so tired of all the shows. Like I'm so tired of superhero anything. I tried to watch Secret Invasion.
Dude,
It's just
superheroes. Let's be real. Superheroes got played out at the first Avengers movie. But no, go
oh
ahead.
my god. Just Secret Invasion is not hitting. Like I was just like, all right, I'm just like really done. I'm kind of just like slowly going back into anime, my roots, and I'm just gonna stick with that. I'm watching Master Chef. I'm gonna do that, and it's just like some other shows here and there, but I'm just like I'm tired of everything else. Like it's just also we're
That's
in a
a
writer strike and an actor strike, so everything's gonna suck for the next year.
oh
Um,
god, it's not looking good for us. But
See,
definitely
I'm
yeah.
check out From and
yeah.
Silo. Those shows are amazing.
See, I'm a movie guy, so it's just like movies that are coming out over the next couple years are either already made. They might be a little bit delayed, but I'm not a show person, so it's
Yeah.
like, I'm okay. Just fuck the shows.
I
Who
mean,
cares?
movies are gonna suck too for the next couple
I
years.
mean,
But
let's be real. A lot of movies have been sucking for years already. But
yeah, you're
like,
not wrong. Yeah.
but
So,
so it is what it is. No, and with that, no, there's definitely some good movies here and there. But yeah, no, it's
like I
just
think Oppenheimer is gonna be a good movie. Like I like that's something I'm interested in.
I'm more interested in the Barbie movie than that. But
I'm not even.
I seriously am. Like Oppenheimer seems, yeah, it's cool. I guess I'll watch it at some point. But if I
Yeah.
had
That's
to
because he
pick
doesn't
between the
like
two,
science.
it has nothing. I mean, obviously, the movie has to do with science, but my opinion of it has nothing to do with science. It just seems like, nah, I have to be in the mood for a movie like that. I'll find myself more in the mood for a Barbie movie than that.
I've never found myself in the mood for a Barbie movie.
It looks funny.
Come on, Barbie. Let's go, Barbie. Nah, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not too crazy about Barbie. I don't know.
Not same
But
here, but I think
definitely
I'll pick her over
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah. But
I haven't
back
watched
to
a
How I
movie
Met Your
like that in a
Father.
while. Yeah, we'll get back to it in a second. I just haven't watched a movie like Oppenheimer in a while, so that's why I'm like, that's something I would go watch. But yes, back to How I Met Your Father. Um,
Oh, I heard Sound of Freedom was good though, Big Roo. I gotta check it
Don't
out. I
call
haven't
him
seen it
Rudy
yet.
Big Roo.
That's his name.
Sound of Fear, is that the one with Is
It's
that about?
Jim Caviezel, and he's like talking about like kids and
Oh,
like
okay.
sex trafficking and stuff. I think.
Oh no,
I think that's what I heard.
I never
Maybe
heard
I'm
of that.
confusing the
that
music.
sounds like a
I'm
lot. I'm not ready
confusing
for
the
that
music.
right now.
Rudy, tell
Yeah,
us
it's
if he's
supposed to
right.
be pretty heavy.
But yeah, How I Met Your Father, season 2. Um, like we said in the beginning, I think overall the season was good. It had a lot of like nice moments. They brought back Robin Scherbatsky. They brought back Barney Stinson. Barney was funny as always. He had that ankle monitor that shocked him every time he said something sexual, which is hilarious. And
It was a heavy shock too. He's like, "Oh,"
yeah.
you know, really good. It's like, damn, chill.
I love
Poor
Neil
heart.
Patrick Harris, man. He's the goat.
He could do no wrong, man. I love him. So yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's just uh, and then you had who else? We had Sandy. You said Sandy Withers, right? Something like
Sandy
that.
Weathers, yeah.
Weathers. Was there any other?
We know that I don't know if it was beginning of season 2 or not, but it was the captain or boats.
Oh yes,
One or
yes,
both
yes,
of them was in
Mm.
it.
yes. Because he bought the
Yeah.
he bought the picture. Yes. Yeah, that was another ridiculous episode. But it's just
Yeah.
like there's a lot of fun ridiculous things. One of the cool things I liked about one of the past episodes in the last 8 episodes was the kid she was marrying.
Oh yeah.
Swish.
Yeah,
Swish.
Swish. And
Swish had me dying.
every time they tried to tell him something, they saw a little puppy.
Yeah.
And I remember, wasn't there? They did that with something with Robin. Like, didn't Robin had a guy like that? And
Well, no, there was a thing where so Robin had a bunch of dogs and they all belonged to her exes. So then Ted, every time he looked at a dog, he would picture one of her exes. That's what it
oh,
was.
I thought there was that like the ML kid uh
Robbie ML.
Robbie ML was in the show. Wasn't
Who
he
the hell
like
is
young
Robbie
and
ML?
um fuck, I
He's a
forgot his
dude.
name. He's the
Thanks, guys.
cousin of the
Steven
Stephen
Arrow.
ML from
Yeah.
Heel.
I know Stephen Amell.
Yeah. His cousin is
cousin.
Robbie ML, who's also an
Okay.
actor. But yeah, I thought he was in there at one point, and Robin was dating him, and then they just called him by a dog's name because he acted like
Oh,
like
I
a
think
dog.
there was somebody like that once.
Yeah. So that reminded me of like what they did here with
Mm.
the Swish, and he was dumb and whatever, but he was like
Yeah.
so innocent and
Remember when they had Enrique
They're like,
Iglesias?
Swish is
and
gonna
How I
be
Met
the
Your Mother?
best man you'll ever meet.
yeah.
And Swish was like the coolest guy. Like
He was,
at
and
the end
then
of the
he
day, it was
ended-
like he was just a good person.
He ended up owning an island.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Swish, Swish.
Yeah. My favorite character though, I think is still Ellen. I don't know.
I
She's
love Ellen.
goofy and in like a funny way to me. And I don't like the other one. I forgot her name. The one that was dating Charlie. I just feel like she's just too over the top. Like just
Valentino?
Valentina.
Yeah, I'm not a fan
The
of her.
best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Why?
know
But
I
who's
everyone
mean,
else I think I'm okay with, but I don't know. I just feel like when she comes on, I'm just like it's just too I don't know, too dumb. Like I don't know what else to call it. Just
I don't know. You know who's winning me over as like of the main cast? Like is my favorite. Like Sid is starting to become front runner for me because Sid is just so
yeah,
fucking weird. He's just
yeah,
so
yeah,
like
yeah.
he has so many weird interests and things. It's like
They're starting to do
yeah,
that with him. Yeah,
I was like okay, I'm Sid's so far. Sid's my guy. I mean, I do like Charlie a lot too, but
the whole meat factory,
yeah, that's one
the
thing.
in sync.
He knows in sync very well for some reason.
the
Like just these random things about Sid. I was like, all right, he's becoming pretty entertaining for me.
the teeth brushing song.
Yeah. And I'm curious to see because remember the big thing like for How I Met Your Mother was like who's the mom. So for this one, it's who's the dad, obviously. But the thing is, we already know she's already met the dad on that one specific night.
Yeah.
And from like the end of season one, a lot of season two, you see a lot of you see a very close budding friendship between Sophie and Sid.
Mm,
And that's
okay.
they were from two different friend groups that merged together. They're starting to come closer and closer as friends. The end of season two, you have the
Yeah,
thing that
he
happens with
breaks
Sid's
up. Yeah.
relationship, and then
So
so it's
yeah,
like
let's just
that's
jump
something that
into
could,
spoilers.
yeah,
Sid and Hannah is it what it seemed like they broke up.
yeah, potentially, yeah,
Um, she kissed one of her coworkers, and then she made it sound like there could have been something more. That's why she's leaving
hmm
L.A. and coming to New York, and that's what kind of that's why they kind of break up. And then like at the end, Sophie and was
Jesse,
Jesse come together. They confess their love for each other, and they come back together. And then we also get the spoiler of the future of Charlie and Valentina having a child. So,
hmm
and you still see like their relationship and romance are still kind of. So they set up a lot of nice storylines for next season. Hopefully it gets renewed. I'm looking
yeah,
forward to this journey, and I'm
yeah,
gonna stick with it. Um, because all the characters do have some sort of lovable thing about them.
absolutely.
Like Hilary Duff's character Sophie, she's kind of like the dumb blonde, but like a hopeless romantic at the same time. Valentina's she already met her person, and she's kind of doing random things, but you
Well,
know,
she's just trying to find a replacement and just kind of living
yeah,
life at this
but
point.
she's not really doing it.
Yeah,
But yeah, here's the picture they kind of showed at the end with
hmm
Valentina, Charlie, and their kid.
hmm
I forgot they said the name. I just forgot.
yeah. Well, we'll find it.
Alex,
Okay,
right? Yeah.
I have no idea.
I don't remember.
Yeah, and then you have yeah, this is when everybody was kind of consoling Sid.
hmm
They nothing really was said, but they were consoling him, and you kind of saw the fight before. And
Yeah.
then also this happened. Uh,
Drew.
Oh,
Valentina
that
and
did
Drew
happen.
were making out in the closet, which was honestly a surprise for me. Like Drew doesn't seem the type of
Yeah,
guy Valentina goes for, but
that's the
again,
whole
like
point. Yeah,
yeah, like you said, it's a replacement. So I wonder if in season three that's gonna be like a long time relationship.
I hope it lasts the entire season.
That would be
I
interesting.
hope it lasts the
That
entire
would be
What
season.
one of
very
the
interesting.
one of the things that got me with Sid was that when Jesse yeah, Jesse's his name, the friend, where he went into the bathroom thinking it was going to be his girlfriend in the
Oh,
bathroom. He
right, right,
opens it
right.
to Sid, and Sid's like, "You want to take a look at this evidence?" I don't know why
Dude, Sid
that
is
had me
hilarious, dude.
laughing so hard. I'm like, I gotta use that on my wife over here. Had me dying.
That's
Like,
funny.
there's
Oh
definitely
man.
some golden moments,
Oh
like
yeah.
what have you on the floor, but like, I just think it's all still coming together, and that's what it
It's
is
still
They're
for
building.
me
Yeah.
at least.
yeah, they're building up their How I Met Your Father
Yeah.
mythos. Like How I Met Your Mother took a while for them to build some
Yep.
of these things up too. But you have super famous thing that happen like the slap bets, like the pineapple, the
Yeah.
fucking goat,
Yeah.
the blue French horn.
Yep.
So like I feel like they're gonna start building these
Yeah,
things
we're
up
gonna
here
get there.
too, but
Yeah.
it's just gonna take some time. Like that other stuff, it took time, but for us it was like instantaneous
Because we
because we
kind of just flew
binged
through
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Just finished it, yeah.
yeah. So
Now,
I think that's the
Totally,
difference.
yeah. One thing I
totally
wanted to
see that.
mention real quick about Drew. So last time we did season one, reviewing it, I remember saying like, "Hey," because I forgot what our overall opinion on Drew was. I think at the end of the day, I think you guys didn't like him. I think I did. I could be wrong about that. But it was one of those things where it's just like I
I mean,
remember
if I
saying,
didn't, he's growing on me.
well, he's very different from how he was the first season.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But the thing is with Drew, I remember saying then I was just like, I really want to see Drew come back, but in the future, I want him to see be a complete 180, complete different character, and just be kind of like weird and out there. And I feel like that'd be entertaining because we know Josh Peck can do that. We've
Mhm.
seen him in the past do roles like that when he was a kid. And then I was thinking maybe season 4, season 5, if the show exists. They're like, no, fuck that. Season 2, Drew comes back and he's fucking weird. I was like, all right, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. So I like Drew more. So it's like
Oh, his
that's
handsy cousin. That shit had me rolling, bro.
it's like our parents are siblings or whatever the fuck he says. But yeah, no, like Drew is so fucking weird and it's
Yeah,
amazing. Like I love it. So it's just like I do want to see more of him. I'm sure they'll get to a point where they eventually write him off, or if he becomes a big enough hit, they write him into like regular main cast. That
yeah,
can happen.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, he's definitely a character, like a side character. That's I already liked him, and he's growing on me even more now. So I
yeah.
definitely like Drew.
And then we had the other boyfriend. I forgot his name. The scientist.
Oh yeah, I can't remember his name right now, but I like him, but
But
he's
and then
lame.
he has his girlfriend now.
But it's like
So
he's never done anything other than he's just
sure,
like
sure.
attractive love interest. Okay,
Yeah, and
that's
then
it.
they had like the whole what was it that they tried to start but kind of it just fell off with him because the character he went away.
Yeah.
When they
The
were
dude from
finding
Australia that went to Australia, Ian or something.
Ian, yes.
yeah. But they were finding lookalikes and they were sending them to each other. I forgot who the actor
Jason
was.
Momoa.
Yes. They're finding Jason Momoa lookalikes and they were just sending them to each
Yeah.
other. That was cool. I thought they were gonna keep building on that, but because it was only him,
It wouldn't have made sense. Yeah.
yeah. So it was just like, all right, so that fell off. Maybe it'll come back if they ever get back together at
It could
some
always
point.
be a whole like they haven't spoken to each other for years. If the show progresses, it's like we're at season 6, and all of a sudden she gets a text message. This man who looks like Jason Momoa. We're like, oh my god, it's Ian.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
like something like that could happen.
But yeah, man. I'm hoping to hear from them soon about season 3. The only thing that worries me is because of the writer strike and the actor strike.
Mhm.
I don't know if they would renew it, and if they did renew it, when it would even start. But I really hope Hulu renews this show. It would be a shame for it to get canceled now,
Yeah.
just when it's starting to really build up an ecosystem.
Mhm.
So I hope it continues. I hope it gets renewed for season 3, and my best to the cast and
Absolutely.
the writers and everybody from How I Met Your Father. I want to see you guys succeed. So
100%.
here's hoping.
Yeah.
Those are like my final thoughts on How I Met Your Father, season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so same thoughts, man. I hope it's not as I hope the writer strike doesn't hit us as hard as we're expecting. Just because I love TV shows and I love movies, but at the same time, stand up for what you need, man. Stand up for
Unfortunately, I
uh
think it will. But
yeah. So stand up for your values and know your worth and do what you got to do to make to really get what you deserve in the end. Because you know what, it sucks working tooth and nail and then popping out like quality content and then to get shafted. You know
Yeah.
that just it sounds terrible. So I hope there's a quick resolution. I hope everybody gets what they need. But at the end of the day, I just I just need my TV, man.
yeah,
So good luck to How I Met Your Father and all and the cast and crew and all of them. I hope they weather the storm because you know it is still only the second season, so it might be just too new to just be like to keep. So they might just nip it in the bud, try to cut corners and save money where they can. But hopefully that doesn't happen, and hope we stay strong.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Same thing. I mean, I feel like we all support like the actors and the writers and everything in the strike, of course. But yeah, we do want to see new stuff come out. But obviously, they got to get their just dues first. But when it does happen, we'll be here hopefully. How I Met Your Father is still around, then we'll see.
yeah,
Rudy said the interesting will the interesting things will be what content AI puts out while the strike goes on. That would
I
be
mean, if it
crazy if
actually
that's like
happens, I don't know if
I,
that's going to
the
I
actually
don't
new
happen.
think. I
the new
mean,
direction.
they use the writers want the companies to put out a thing where they're like, we'll never use AI,
Hmm.
and the companies are like, no, and they're trying to hold out until all these writers and stuff run out of money, and then they can
Yeah.
strong arm them. So that's the sad part. AI content, I don't think is gonna be good. AI is not at that level where it's gonna be pumping out content. And if you see online, people are pumping out content via AI. At most, they're using it to get a skeletal system, and then they're putting in the rest of the work. Like you're not gonna put in something that's gonna give you a finished product. Like that's just not where AI level is at.
No.
It can polish it a little bit at most, or give you like a skeleton to work with, but it's not gonna be giving you what these writers can, because at the same AI doesn't know the nuance of human language. It doesn't know the nuance of the human culture that's currently in the ether. So it's never going to be able to duplicate what these writers can do, until it becomes fully conscious. But that's not going to happen anytime soon.
No.
Yeah,
So
And
that's
nothing's
besides the
ever
it's
point.
good. Nothing's ever
it's
going to
like
be
a
as good as
powerful
that.
tool, but it's
Okay.
definitely not like strong enough to replace a
Yeah.
whole
Yeah.
room
That's
full of
what
writers.
exactly what it is. It's a tool. It's like for architects what a 3D program is. Right? Before we used to have to do this shit by hand, and you needed like 60 architects drawings doing drawings, and now you need like 10, because we have these programs. So it's just like it's going to cut down on maybe how many writers, but it's not going to replace writers, and that's the whole I think that's the whole point. But
Unless it gets like a super upgrade, like you said, that we're actually become
that's in
sentient.
like
But that's
years. Yeah, yeah.
so
But
we
yeah, let's
think. But
we don't need to go down this rabbit hole. I'm sorry, Dan,
yep.
what were you going to say?
Nothing. I was just gonna make a dumb joke. I was just gonna say nothing's ever gonna be as good as that Batman movie script that was written by AI.
Yeah,
That's the greatest thing ever written.
I remember you sent that to me. That was funny.
Yeah, that's one of the
Um,
funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
I'm remembering it. It was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it was
At
just
the end of
parts
the
of it.
day, it's still just a tool, though. You had to set
Yeah,
the parameters of like
yeah,
Oh yeah,
what the AI. So,
yeah.
but still,
and if and
that
if
was
these
hilarious.
execs
It was
thinks
the funniest fucking thing in the world. Yeah.
yeah, and I'm just gonna last thing I want to say, if these executives think that they can set the parameters themselves and make a hit show, you guys are the most uncreative people I've ever seen in my life. I've seen what you've ruined in multiple movies, shows, whatever. Like it's not gonna happen. So, but whatever. Um, don't forget to follow us on social media. Check out the Los Wise Guys website, loswiseguys.com, and help our channel grow by liking and subscribing to the channel. Share with your friends and comment below. Let us know what you think about How I Met Your Father season 2, and the writer strike, the actor strike, and all that good stuff. But let's move on. Dan, why don't you tell us about your show that you have to review for today?
Yep. And today I will be presenting an Apple TV show called Platonic. I don't know if you can see that. I can't. Yeah.
I remember seeing a trailer for this.
It's Oh shit! What the hell did I just do? It was surprisingly a pretty good show. Um I really didn't know what to expect going in, other than I like Seth Rogen to an extent. Um, but this turned out to be a pretty fun watch, especially if you're watching with your partner or significant other. It they get pretty silly in this one. Pretty much the premise is without giving too much. The premise is that Rose Byrne's character is like this happily married wife with kids, and her friend from like college or high school, whatever it was, comes back into her life, and they were the type of just wild and unruly, crazy type friends that just always get into trouble. So she's like this mature old lady now, not old lady, but like a mature woman, family woman, and then Seth Rogen comes back into her life, and they start getting into their old crazy ways again. And so she feels the nostalgia, and they both just end up feeling the toxicity of their relationship, but they're also just really close, and that's just how their friendship is. They like fight and then they leave, and the next day they're back together. It's like um just the stuff they get into though is pretty funny. um Rose Byrne and Seth Rogen, I think, definitely make for a powerful comedy duo, especially for this like kind of
I remember Neighbors.
uh,
They were great in that.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that was
So
hilarious.
in this like sort of environment, they feed off each other really well, and it's not like Seth Rogen with James Franco and the whole gang, where it's just like, oh, stoner this, stoner that. It's a little more drama, a little more depth to the characters. It's not like so much slapstick stupidity. I mean, it is pretty stupid, some of the stuff, but it's just a different presentation, in my opinion, than that like the normal Seth Rogen. But definitely the show is worthwhile in my opinion. I'm gonna give it a one thumbs up. It was funny and definitely good laughs. Definitely watch with your partner. Uh, Rose Byrne and Seth Rogen, they're just they're just goofy, man. I don't know how else to describe it without telling the plot. um, there's one episode where Seth Rogen gets divorced and they throw him a divorce party, and
Nice.
it just everything was just pretty funny to me. Nothing crazy, crazy. Just a drama, comedy, dramedy, I guess. And it got a 7.1 on IMDb. Seth Rogen killed it. Rose Byrne killed it. They've been in movies together. They have that chemistry, and you could totally feel it. You could feel they're just their history together. They work well, and I guess that's why they keep working with each other. So um, yeah, I'm looking forward to season two. Hopefully, it comes out. I don't know if Apple TV is going to push for a second season, but regardless, this first season was definitely funny. I enjoyed it,
Cool, cool, cool.
and yeah, and I'll leave it at that. It was just one show today, this week. I really didn't have too much time, so this is that Platonic. Check it out. One thumbs up from me. 7.1 on IMDb. Uh, yep. So up to you, Dan. Balls in your
It's
court
up
now.
to me. It's up to me,
Yep.
guys.
It's up to you, Dan. What are we doing?
You
You
gotta
have a
Um,
save the
story to
podcast.
tell us.
yeah, so I don't have news today. I mean, wrestling is occurring right now, really big match. Once again, I would very much like to be watching that, but for you people, all you people, watch this. I'm here for you. So,
What you mean,
but
you
no,
people?
but no. So, I wasn't here last week. I had to go. I went back to Jersey. The sad stuff. Real quick, I guess just R.I.P. Augie, a friend of mine who passed away. Used to work with. So sad to see him go. But anyway, went to that. Went there. I was there for 2 days. Saw some people I used to work with. Saw family. Then I had to come back, and anybody knows me, my life sucks, and like I can't just do things like most normal people can without having stuff happen. So I had to get on an airplane to come back, which the universe always takes that opportunity to do something to screw with me and make sure that I don't get back normally. So basically, I remember I was there for 2 days. Second day, my flight was supposed to leave at like 8 o'clock. I got a notification at about 4 saying my flight was delayed. It was going to be pushed to 9:30. It's like, okay, cool. Got a little bit closer to 9:30, and it went and yeah, it got pushed back to like 10. I was like, okay, I know what's going on with this. I was still at the house with my parents. We were like, you know what? They were hungry. My mom's like, I didn't cook. I was like, okay, that means I'm supposed to order something. So you know what? I haven't had good Chinese food from here in a while. Let me order some Chinese food because it doesn't taste the same here in South Carolina. But ordered Chinese food. I was eating it. It's real cool. And then I got a notification for my flight that was delayed up to like 10. It now went back. It was like, no, we're good for that 8 o'clock flight. I was like, are you shitting me? So
Damn.
I'm scarfing down food. I was just like, you know what? It's going to get delayed again. And it does. It got pushed to about 9. I was like, what's going on? And then I got a text. This was no longer a notification. This was a text from the flight. By the way, this is United. Fuck them. United's now saying the flight's at
Hmm.
11 o'clock. And then right after that, I got another message from the app saying it was 8 o'clock. I don't know what to do. I told my dad, I was like, just take me to the airport. I'll figure it out. I'll hop on a plane. I'll get there. I'll get home somehow. Mind you, I had to work the next day. So I was just like, okay. We get to the airport. I get to my gate and everything, and we're just sitting there, and it's just like, okay, it's delayed. We're supposed to get on at 10. That's the official statement, 10 o'clock. Like, okay, cool. So I'm sitting there, and one guy goes on the loudspeaker thing, and it's like you see him, you actually see him. It's not just hearing the voice. So he picks up the thing, and literally, first thing he does is go.
The biggest sigh.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's just like, I'm sorry, everybody. The flight is going to be further delayed. I'm going to try to figure out exactly what's happening. But it looks like you guys are going to be getting on at 11 o'clock now. Like, okay. It's supposed to be 11. I mean, we're supposed to be 8. Now we're pushing to 11. It's like, okay. And then, he comes back shortly after. He's like, okay, so the reason why it's getting delayed, your flight doesn't have a crew.
Nice.
Wow.
So there's no crew for this flight. He comes on a little bit later. We're all just upset, and I'm just sitting there, just like, no, it's my fault, guys. I'm here. It's me.
Sorry, everybody.
Sorry, y'all. It's me.
Yeah. So I'm
Got the
just sitting
bad
there.
juju.
Yeah, I'm just charging my phone. I found a charge port sitting right next to it. I was like, this is my life. It is what it is. And then he gets on there. He's like, supposedly the flight, the crew, they were over in LaGuardia, and they were supposed to be at Newark Airport. And yeah, they just weren't. So there's like when they get there, they'll let us know and everything. So then we get a delay to 11:30. He gets back on, and he's just like, yeah, so the crew might not be coming. So we're just like, what the fuck does that mean? And then he's like, but we will give you guys meal vouchers if you just want to line up in front of my desk here. We can give you guys meal vouchers. Like, well, that doesn't get me home. That doesn't get me to where I need to be.
Is that for the airport or the plane? Like, what is
No,
that
for the
even do?
airport. For the airport. So you could
Okay,
could go buy a sandwich somewhere down the hall.
Yeah.
Mind you, everything's starting to close because it's so late. But yeah, so he's giving out meal vouchers, and then people are going in line. They're complaining, and they're getting the meal voucher. And then at one point, one lady's complaining, and she's yelling at this guy because this guy was gonna ask him a quick question. I think the guy. He started shouting. He was like, I just wanted to know where the nearest bathroom was. And the lady's like, you have to get in line to ask a question.
Yo, when people are like that, they
Yeah.
just get ridiculous.
It's so funny. And then the guy who's making the announcements, he left. He just left. He
yeah,
never
his
came back.
shift was over. He doesn't
Exactly.
give a fuck.
Exactly. I never saw him again. And everybody's, mind you, there were still people waiting in line for their vouchers. They stood there. Just
Oh
He just
my
walked
God.
off.
He just walked away.
I'll be right back. Bye.
He's like they're starting to fight about the bathrooms. Next, they're gonna be coming for my throat. I'm just gonna
Exactly.
get out of here.
Now, mind you, while this happened, so we're at one gate, and then there's another gate that's like kind of next to us. They're going somewhere. It's an international flight. I can't remember where. But then you have people over there coming. Their stuff got delayed, so they're upset in a different language. And then we're upset. And then it's like some more people who are coming onto our gate because now we're just sitting there. Now another flight's supposed to come to this gate. They're there. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no. So we're sitting there. And then what's called? I remember seeing we got a couple more delays. By the end, it got pushed to I want to say it was 1:30 a.m. Yeah. So I'm texting my parents. I'm like, listen, I might need a ride back home. We'll see. I don't know if there's even going to be a flight today. And one guy, he's getting pissed. One guy's just shouting every time they announce a delay. They do something. This man is pissed off. He's like, we're never going to get home. This, that, and the other. And then they announce that the international flight is good. And this man who was shouting the whole time, he thought that he was on our plane with the delays, and he was okay. So this man's pissed, yelling all over the place, and he's complaining about the wrong fucking flight. When they announced his flight, he got real quiet real quick and just got on his plane and shut his fucking mouth.
I'm an asshole. I was yelling about the wrong flight this whole time.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, so they finally at one point the crew shows up, and it's the crew from LaGuardia. They decided to do their job. So we're there, and they're just sitting there at the gate like us. I was like, all right, maybe the plane has to get ready. And then I was like, all right, tell my parents, listen, I'm good. I know it's late, just go to sleep. Don't worry about it. If I have to, I'll just stay at the airport. I'll figure it out. one guy goes up to the the crew and he's just like, "So we're going, you guys." And legit, the captain's just like, "Do you want to go? If you guys don't want to go, I'll just stay here." I'm like, "Hey, asshole, we've been waiting for fucking hours. What?
Yeah.
No, get on the fucking plane, get it started. We're gonna go." So anyway, after that, we finally get on there. I want to say it was around, yeah, it was probably around 1:30, 1:45. We get on the plane. We're sitting there and everything,
That's
and then
wild delays from 8 o'clock to 1 a.m. That's
same thing
huge.
happened. Remember when Eslam's what's it called, your engagement party? Same thing happened to me then.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So what's it called? So I'm on the plane, and then I paid for like this, not the really expensive, not the first class, but the ones right behind him. So I'm sitting there, I'm all comfortable in my seat, and then one lady comes up. She's like, "Hey, a bunch of people who were supposed to be on the plane, they left because of all the delays. There's a bunch of free open seats behind you. Just when the flight goes up in the air, if you want, you could do it because it's me sitting next to them. Some other guy was like, if one of you guys want to just get your own like 2-seater, you could do it. Just we'll do it once the plane goes up." I'm like, "All right, cool." So we're sitting there, and then the pilot goes on. He's like, "Hey guys, we got another delay. Um, apparently we there's something going on. We need to check the plane, so we're not going to have electricity for a little bit." So all the lights turned off on the plane. We're just sitting there in the dark. The man next to me is just like, "I've been dealing with delays at 6 a.m. I came from Chicago."
Jesus, bro. That's more than that. That dude's going into like 15, 16
Yeah.
hours worth of delays. Holy
And it's
shit.
funny because I'm sitting next to him every once in a while. He's just saying under his breath, like, "I just want to go home." I felt so bad for this
I
man.
feel bad for him now. I hope he got home. I hope he got in bed.
No,
I
it's
hope
funny.
like he got a massage and was
Oh,
able
yeah.
to relax like a
They
bubble
held that man
bath.
hostage.
Bro, that's
And
ridiculous.
it's funny because like he started telling me everything because he was just sitting there. He's like, he just needed to speak to somebody. He's like,
He's
my
just crying
bag.
on your shoulder.
But this dude's just like, my bags have been at the correct airport for hours now. Like it's just sitting there, just going around in a circle.
It's just a lonely bag on the carousel.
And then he was like, my wife said, "Should I go pick it up?" I said, "What's the point? You're gonna have to come back pick me up anyway. Just let it run. Just leave it there. I'll go get it at some point."
That's so funny. Oh man.
So at this point, the power kicks back on, and then we're all like, "All right, we're gonna have to go." That's what the pilot announces. It's gonna take a little bit longer, because they need to find a crew to push the plane. Doesn't explain what that means.
Oh, like taxi it.
That's okay. I guess that's
Yeah,
what I
so
assumed, but
they
I don't
need
know why
to-
he said it in that way.
Yeah, they need to like taxi it out.
Yeah,
And
They're gonna get a bunch of strong people
the
and just
plane
push
can't.
it.
The plane can't go in reverse.
yeah.
So you
yeah,
need one of those little cars to push it back and
Which-
in position so he can drive it the rest of the way.
Which is funny because I don't know if you guys remember, anybody listening. Eslam, your engagement party, I had a similar situation where I had to come back, except theirs was what's it called? Something happened with the plane where it just couldn't taxi at all. So they had to like pull us all the way, and then they actually had mechanics working on the plane while we were sitting there waiting last time. So I was like, "Oh, this is gonna happen again," and ended up that didn't happen. So we're getting to the I forget what it's called, the runway thing.
Yeah, the runway.
And then right when we're there, I see red and blue flashing lights come on there, and then I see a cop car, then another cop car, then an ambulance and a fire truck.
Jesus.
I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And they're going to this other plane, and they're sitting there. Now we're sitting there, and then the guy just turns to me. He's like, "What does that have to do with us?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Sir, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about you, and I'm sorry about your bag. It's gonna be okay." And what's it called? That's when I notice that behind me, remember the flight attendant told me and the guy sitting next to me, there's a bunch of free seats. She started directing people and telling them to sit in those seats where she told us to sit in because we paid for like the extra seating and they didn't. She's like, "Okay, you sit here, and we're just looking at her. I was like, "What the fuck? You told us specifically we're good to go, and you said we had to wait till the plane was in the air." And like we're not in the air. We've been sitting here for like another hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a mess. But anyway, we eventually the plane goes around in a couple circles. We finally go. I'm looking at the thing.
They get into the air. He stops mid-air. He's like, "There's another delay. There's some storm clouds. We're gonna stay here for a moment." Yeah, I'll be so pissed. I'm like, planes can't even do this.
Yeah, but no. And at one point, so then they're like giving us like water and stuff because planes nowadays, especially short flight, you don't get food. So she's giving us water, or whatever you want. I asked for water, and the guy was like, "Yeah, I want water too." And they give us cups that are about this big. So for those of you who can't see, I was a very, very tiny cups. And then the man next to me is just like, "Not even a bottle."
Yo, no,
Can't even get a
son.
bottle.
No.
It's like I'm never coming back on these airlines again. So I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, it is what it is. We get there. The guy lands the plane. He lands it pretty smooth. You know, sometimes you get the bumpy thing. He landed real good. And then the guy next to me was like, that's the only good fucking thing about this whole flight. So yeah, we finally get there. I get my
Oh my
bag and
god.
everything.
Was the guy's bag not there?
It wasn't on the turnstile thing. He had to. They had pulled it off and they pulled it off to the side. It looked like so he had to speak to them directly and
Okay.
show them ID and shit. But yeah, I was like the first one at the thing. Like I got off the plane, and fucking ran to the thing. I was just waiting. And it's funny because like it's a small airport here, so there's only like 3 like thingies, turnstile thingies, and one of them was moving. So I get there, and as I'm walking, the guy's like, "It's gonna be on this one," and I felt like saying, "Yeah, no shit, everybody else is gone." Like it's obviously it's just the one that's running. But yeah, at this point it's 3:30, 4 a.m. somewhere around there. You know,
How
I'm
long
here
is the
then.
flight? Like 45 minutes?
No, it's a 2-hour flight.
Oh,
What time does work start?
Work starts at 10. Or,
Damn.
well, work starts at 10:30, but I'm usually up at 8. And so this is like 4 a.m. So I got there, I got my bag. There was a shuttle, luckily. So the guy, you know, he was just, I was like, "Oh, you guys are still late?" He's like, "No, I'm just here until all the flights are gone. Guess you guys had a delay." I was like, "No, we had about 20." Then he finally, you know, he takes us to our thing. There was 2 other people on there. They didn't know where the fuck their car was. I was like, "Dude, just take me as close as you can. I'll walk." He's like, "Really?" I was like, "It's fine." I gave him a tip and everything. I gave him like a $20 tip because it's so late and this guy's sitting
Yeah.
there. But yeah, so then it's, you know, I get to my car and that's when I call up the thing in my for our work we have like the system thing. I was like, "I'm calling out. I'm not fucking doing this." So I called
Yeah.
out and just rested, just tried to sleep the entire next day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I got home. Because
Damn.
every time
Almost didn't make it.
I notice almost any time I go on a flight somewhere, the flight back is usually an issue. The last, I mean,
Did we have an issue coming
we
back from
didn't. I was just
Chicago?
about to say we didn't. We were cool.
Okay.
But it's like if you look at, I want to say honestly, maybe
Maybe
my
it's
last
just
like
because by yourself.
no,
with
because I've had
me-
the situation with my mom. I was about to say
okay.
like my last like 7 or 8 flights.
We're gonna
not
have to
counting
take
that
another
one.
trip together, see if that happens or
I don't
not.
know if you want to take that chance.
I would. I do for science. I'll do it for science and the podcast.
But yeah, no, it
we'll
was.
we'll go out and visit Disco and come back and see if we're delayed for 65 days.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean, nuclear holocaust will happen and planes will
Yeah.
stop flying. We'll
That's
have
great.
to walk back to New Jersey and
Yeah.
South Carolina.
I read this article where this United plane, it I guess the engine stopped and like it was nosediving, and then they finally got it to turn back on, and they like were about to crash too, and then they souped up and just like
Nice. Yeah,
well,
that was the
planes
airline
don't
I used.
really. Well, it wouldn't really nosedive unless the pilot made it
well,
nosedive.
not like a
It would
nosedive,
just
but it was losing
no,
altitude.
Yeah, yeah, it would just be going down, but in a straight line like this. Yeah.
Nosediving is really just for like jets, but
No,
you can
planes
get what
could
I'm saying. It was
nosedive too,
falling.
but you'll have to force it because you have to turn the wing, those flaps in the wings, so you can put
Yeah.
the nose down. The nose down. I said noise, but yeah, that's besides the point. But okay, cool. That was a hilarious story. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you, life.
I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, glad you made it safe.
Yeah.
That team from LaGuardia came.
Fucking LaGuardia people.
Dude, and that's the thing. I mean, Eslam, know you said it before, and I do have to concur. Every story I've told about my life, they're all villain origin stories.
Yes, they are.
I've
said that before?
You have said that before.
Okay.
You said it. I remember once you specifically said, I'll never forget. Also, my memory's better than yours.
I'll forget, yeah.
Yeah. I remember you saying, like, I'm a lot better than I should be mentally. Or something along those lines. It's like looking at all the dumb shit I've experienced and all the stuff I've told you. Happy birthday, Henry! He's there.
Hey, fuck yeah! What's up, Henry? We missed you, dude.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, brother.
There it is.
Just talking about you earlier in the episode.
Yeah, we're just like it's been a minute. But yeah, no, I was just you said something along the lines of like of all the stories I've told, of all the shit I've dealt with, I handle it and I'm a lot happier than I should be. There's like if anybody else were to deal with it, they would have like committed suicide or some shit.
Nah, or it just would have been serial killers. You know?
Yeah.
We missed you too,
well adjusted.
Henry.
Yeah, Henry. It's been a minute, man.
I mean, it sucks that you're here right when we're about to sign off,
No,
but
that's schedule.
Literally,
That schedule
about
is.
to lie.
I know. Uh, but we do miss you. Thank you for coming on, always supporting us. You're the best. Yeah, we
Yeah,
figured
Yeah,
you've been working late, but
no, it's good to see
uh,
you, man.
I'm gonna have to talk to your boss.
yeah, we're gonna have to pay him a visit.
Just
Alrighty,
threatening people now.
what happened?
So we're just threatening people now. But
I mean, I didn't say it was gonna be a bad visit. I just said we're gonna pay him a visit. Thank you for listening to the Los Wise Guys podcast. If you like what you hear, follow us on social media. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It helps us grow immensely. Go check out the Los Wise Guys website. Thank you for listening and have a great week.